Hello, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Mediterranean Meander. Where I've just finished up the rest of the season. We drew the two of the games and lost 2-3 in the last one. It doesn't really matter too much because we'd won the league before then. Uh, so looking at Liga 3, which we'll be playing next year, it seems that you need about 34 points to be clear. Like Rustavi won the league. That was one of the teams I could have gone to. I didn't, and they ended up winning the league. So good for them. I definitely struggled a lot at near the end of my time at this season. So probably wouldn't be able to bring them the title, but Tbilisi definitely would have. And I think I've realized why Tbilisi was doing so well. Apparently, they shouldn't exist because in 2022 they were banned from Georgian football for match fixing, which is clearly why they were doing so well in the league. And I clearly put a stop to that, which is why we were losing. And that's what I'm going to go with. I ended corruption in Georgian football. But yeah, looking forward, we can finally use Jakilia, who I signed last year and they couldn't register because I didn't realize you can't register players in free transfers. But I think I want to go towards a single striker system. Maybe not a full 4-3-3, but I think 4-3-3 with Kirienko as a backup. I can cut him whatever. He's good, but he's whatever. And then I have this guy here who I gave a contract offer to. He's not particularly great, but he's athletic and isn't awful with the ball at his feet. So he's going to be my right winger. Zulia, the issue is he can't really play anywhere other than forward or here. So we have to make... I think a diamond may actually be the best bet. Have this guy be playing as a... Yeah, just a full diamond instead of the reverse I had before. This guy should be a decent pressing forward, I think. But I think I'll actually use him as a... Njiklia is a very good... For this level, a very good forward. Advanced, I think he needs to be a primary goal scorer. And he will be a primary goal scorer. He's concerned. You'll be starting soon. Don't worry, bud. So honestly, this is probably a pretty good setup. This is probably good enough right here. So you just need to worry about the defense and backups. And I will be using as much money as possible. I asked the board for a coaching course, and they wouldn't give it because of the financial situation. So that means I'm going to take up all the $500,000 in wage budget I have available and bankrupt this club before I leave. Because I think because the season will start in March, I believe. Liga 3 season starts in... oh, that was the playoffs. Okay, yeah. March 4th. Okay, so we have about 3 months in the off season. So by the time we get to the end of the season in Europe in May, in the rest of Europe in May, we should have a few games under our belt to increase our reputation a little bit. And I think that is the goal. If we look at the current job center, I guess job security, and look at the available jobs. Like, obviously, we can't go like Crystal Palace or United or any of those ones, but we could go to say, let's see. Based on the rules, we could go to this team in the Cypriot Championship. We could go to this team in the top flight of Egypt, things like that. They're all available, and I expect there to be a lot more jobs available at the end of the season as well. Just because, because winter, the two periods of coaches get fired are November, December, and then like April, May. So when teams are doing poorly in the midseason, and when they fail to either win a league or win like a continental competition, that's when coaches get fired in FM. So a lot of these ones, like I'll just out of sheer I'm not going to get it. I'll apply for this. That's not like a job I clicked on. That is a very cool uh logo though. That was a dolphin. Look at that. Dolphin. They have a dolphin. I'm going to apply for that. But yeah, the job in Cyprus, this one right here. Which I think it's applied for. Yeah, it's applied for. I'll supply those just in case. But I don't plan on spending the full season at Tbilisi. Unless I am in a top 3 spot pushing for either a promotion or a championship. I'm definitely going to leave. But yeah, for transfer policy wise, we need to get another center back. I want this guy right here is slow and probably isn't going to get the next level, but he can play all the spots. So I may sign him anyway just for that purpose because he supplies a good amount of depth. We need a right back. Actually, it's probably better to play Jumbert at right back and get 2 new center backs. And I do want a new goalkeeper as well. So I will go out, make some transfers. When players start to sign, I'll come back and discuss those signings. But I think this is the kind of set we're looking for, and the spots we definitely need players in. And if you're a 4-star player on this team, you just aren't good enough. That's how it works. Because we're just so awful that if you're not like 5-star, you're just bad. But yeah, I'll be back once signings start to kick in. All right, so we're about a week into the transfer period. Well, the window hasn't officially opened yet, but whatever. And so far we've signed 2 players. We've signed Becca Bibalashvili, which is a great name, Bibalashvili, perfect. Who's a washed 36-year-old center back. But he was happy being a squad player, so we'll bring him in. It looks like he's spent his entire career in Georgia playing in the, I assume it was top flight occasionally, but spending most of his career in, yeah, the 2nd division. At least recently, a couple times playing in the 3rd. But as recently as 2 years ago, was a full-time starter in the 2nd division team. So he's quality. He's better than any of the sandbacks we had on our roster because he's actually, tall. Unlike the other guys, like 5'3". And then we also signed this man, Georgi Simakaradze. Simaka Urdz. Yeah, that. Who is an even more washed 40-year-old, who is mainly around just to provide depth. And we can have 35 players. I want to have 35 players. If he's starting, I'll be disappointed. But it's not the end of the world. I'm not staying here long enough to care, really, what happens to the team. So it's not my problem if anything goes wrong. We recently brought another person on trial who can probably play the defensive playmaker position. This guy seems quality as well, Mr. Araki Zaria. Decent technicals, decent mentals. He's not awful physically, so I think I will sign that man. If I can find him. Yeah, it's Zari. Yeah, I'll call him that. He wants to be a star player and he wants to be established. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, he wants no money. Yeah, I haven't found a goalkeeper that wants to join the team that's better. Um, Apparently 3 Liga just still is not good enough to get anyone enticed and excited about coming here, even from Africa or South America, even if they're unemployed. It's not enough. So maybe I have to wait till the season tick over. That's probably it. That generally fixes most things in the game. Is season ticks over and your rep goes up, and all that. So yeah, I don't know when that's gonna be. I'd assume after the playoff finishes, which is going to be probably next week or 2. I guess I can check. When does the playoff final end officially? It ends the 16th. So yeah, the 16th the season should take over fully. We won't get the rep boost until midway through, but the game will recognize that we're a real person. Yeah, Mr. Joji Jagia is not a great player, but he's good enough. You know, eights in the important attributes, good physicals, can cross, can mark, and is positioned well. And more importantly, allows me to put Basaria on the other side of the pitch, where he can also play, so it strengthens both sides by bringing this one man in. See, I think we just need to fill in the obvious roster gaps we have, like center back. The strike force, I think, is good. We need another advanced midfielder, and probably two or three more midfielders proper. And then I'd say three more center backs, and then maybe a guy who can play both sides as well. So Passari goes over there, Gagia goes there. I guess we also need to take into account the people who are coming back from loan. Because I don't think anyone's leaving, the contracts are expiring. These guys aren't great, but they can play, and that's really all that matters. And so yeah, we currently have 4 people on the bench. We'll have a bit more than that once everyone gets back. But we can have 35. We're going to have 35. They may all be $10,000 a year players, but we're going to have 35 of them. Yeah, Gaggy is a good, solid player. This is probably my best signing so far. I tried to get a right back as well, but he went to Russia instead, which is understandable. I tried to entice him by putting like the non-promotion release clause of like $0, but that was not enough to come here over the Russian second division, which again makes sense. But yeah, I think we're in a good spot. I don't think the quality difference between Liga 4 and Liga 3 is going to be massive. I think more importantly, just having a full team so you can rotate without going from like a below average player to the worst player in the league with a fake person. But yeah, the difference is it's probably gonna be like the difference between League 2 and the Vanarama National, which is not that big at all. Honestly, the bottom 4 leagues in the playable pyramid in England are basically the same. League 1 is not much better than League 2, which is not much better than the Vanarama National, which is not much better than the Vanarama National North South. It's not until you get to the championship where you start getting into issues getting promoted. Because the top level championship teams are either just relegated Premier League teams or teams like Norwich who just kind of stay around, sometimes go up, most times to spend in the championship. So they have $100 million budgets, while you have like 10. But yeah, we'll be back with more signings. I'd say we're not going to pay for any players. We may buy one or two cheap deals, but almost entirely free transfers, and we'll be back once we're more through the off season and probably close to February or March, unless we get a job or make an important transfer. I know I just said it'd be back quickly, but doesn't seem correct. An average ticket price of $0 and an average season ticket price of $2. I assume it's just not rounding up, and that's gonna be like, 50 cents or something like that. But we had a decent profit, and we got like 160K in sponsorship money, which is good enough for me. Actually, we should change the scouting. Yeah, we should put this up to just the entirety of Georgia and transfer over the transfer budget, so we're not going to use it, other than transferring it to the scouting budget. And we can always, of course, I mean, we could get 400, we could buy a player for 500K if we wanted to. We don't, because that would, they'd be shit. But we could, and that's what matters. Ooh, this guy looks good. Offer trial. Come here, my pretties. And this guy also looks, and he's young. 23-year-old can improve slightly. Most of the time when they get to like 26 or 28, they're not improving much, though. There's one player, Ruben Polito, who is definitely in the save at Huesca. This man is always insane. I guess he is only 23, but I generally sign him, like when I'm playing in Spain, I sign him at the end of the year, like 2, 3 years in, and he's been like, he's like, he starts off not that great, and then by the time he's like 27, he's incredible. I think he was like 140, 140 for the current ability when I did my Deportivo La Coruña save. Quality player, can recommend. He had like 500 appearances for me at the end. Um, but yeah, after that short little notice, I'll be back. All right, so it is now the midway through January. It's been about a month, and we have been very active. In more recent news, they've this team Sam Gorali have put in a bid of 10k of 11k for Luca Uglesias. Luca. Let's stick with Luca. Um, and I negotiated up to 20k. They accepted. I may not go through with it overall. I may say, actually, I'm keeping him because he is quite decent, but he's also been replaced. As you can see, we have quite a few players. Um, we've signed. It doesn't show. I guess it's a mix, yeah. But we have 31 players on the first team roster right now. I'm not super confident in their ability, but it looks like we're projected to do fairly well. It looks like this division's not that good. It's similar quality to the current one, the previous one. We had a few players who we couldn't sign due to wages. They would want like 20k or 30k, and we just can't do it. But I feel like we can do fairly well in this division, and it really brings up the. I should ask for a new contract. I'll do that. Um, the dilemma of do I leave this club as soon as possible for a better one because they won't give me a coaching course because yeah, we're not projected to make money. Uh, or do I stick it out, try and win this league? Which I think I have a distinct possibility of doing. Like if we look at a team that's projected to come first, which is Sabatolo. Yeah, no, these odds are the difference between first and ninth is not that big, and that's big. It's 4-11 versus 25-1. But Sabatolo is not as good as we were. But like Aragvi, it's Dynamo 2 Tbilisi. The second team to Dynamo Tbilisi. Yeah, we can definitely, especially because we can full rotate now. We don't have to worry about having like gray players. All our worst players who are going to be subs are, in midfield, and we have like 12 midfielders who are at least 2 stars, and apparently 2 stars is a good player for this level, or at least like an average player for this level. So yeah, I have no issues there. I think we're gonna do perfectly fine with what we have. Uh, so yeah, the season officially starts in two months. Feels ago. This is a very long preseason. In 2 months, I'll probably try and do. Yeah, I don't think we can do a tour. We don't have enough money for that. Yeah, let's go to Armenia and just play a bunch of teams in Armenia. Yeah, so we have the preseason, which I'll go through fully. But yeah, I think this is our starting lineup. I may sign another center back, but actually, I probably need another striker more than anything. We don't really need a one spot. If I find someone who's good, I may try and get them. But we can only sign 4 more players at the moment. And I'm happy with this team. I feel like this team can at least place mid-table, which means they wouldn't get fired. And it'd be enough, hopefully, for a reputation boost to get us a job somewhere else. Certainly, I'm still only half a star. And that's not good enough to get a lot of jobs. But my attributes are slowly increasing. I've gone up 1 in a couple of technicals and 1 in all but 2. All but 1 actually. I've gone up at least 1 in all but 1 mental attributes. When I get an actual coaching course, that should go up more. Yeah, so I think this is a good spot to end the episode. On the next one, we will start off with the match against Sangrella, which we should win because we're going to be able to beat them last year. And then we'll go through the first, say, 5 matches of the season. And I think the last one that will be on the next episode is this cup match. I think that's good. Get through the first, like, 7th of the season is good enough. But yeah, that's for next time, which will probably be this, I'd say either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when I'm able to record, because the schedule's a bit weird at the current moment. But yeah, see you next time when we start the season at Tbilisi. And hopefully we do well enough we can get a job somewhere else, because Georgia's not... I don't want to spend another 3 years to get European spots, is what I'm saying. But yeah, next time.